Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you to the Chamber for allowing me to come in and kind of give you a little seminar, a little brief overview of social media marketing. Today, I'm going to kind of keep it low key. It's a smaller group. I'd like to leave a lot of time for questions. I know that those are most impactful, and I would love to lend some expertise, or maybe you can leave here with a little tip or trick that we utilize when helping our clients. To get started, we kind of went through who I am. So like Frank said, I'm the founder and CEO of Tipsy Social. I'm also the communications director for the Dutchess County Young Democrats. I'm a member of the American Marketing Association and the Academy of Interactive and Visual Arts. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's degree in marketing, concentrating in social media marketing. And like you said, I was a 40 under 40 in 2020. So it's a little about me, not the most important part of this. Tipsy Social, what is it? So we are a strategic marketing company, and we partner with agencies just like they would with an attorney or a CPA to look out for all of their marketing needs. So whether that's looking for growth opportunities in the market, whether it's looking for areas to expand or adding products and service offerings to their business, we utilize tools like social media, email marketing, web design, paid advertising to help them achieve those marketing goals. Here's just a look at some of the clients that we've worked with in the past. Today's about social media. And the way that I look at it is I can sum it up into really one word, and that's purpose. When you're utilizing social media for your business, it's all about the purpose of using it. Why are you using it? What is the platform that you're on for? And why do you think that it's the best place for you to be? Today's presentation, we'll talk a little bit about the different social media platforms. We're going to talk about the top 5. We'll also talk about some platforms you should be aware of, have them on your radar for down the road as something you may want to expand into or you may want to utilize now versus some of the platforms you might be on. We'll talk about types of social content. I'll give you some organic social media strategies to address 3 of the biggest needs that we see with some of our small business clients. We'll talk about social media tools. I promise this is probably going to be the most important thing that you see today, are the tools that we utilize. And then how to set SMART goals for social media to identify whether or not what you're doing is working. Before we get started, how many people here are in a B2C type setting? So that means you work directly with the people who benefit from your product or service. So right with customers, by show of hands. All right, so a little more than half, and the rest of you would be a B2B relationship. So you're working directly with businesses who may use your product or retail or sell your product. Perfect. That helps me. Awesome. So like I said, we're going to talk about the top 5 social media platforms, especially as they relate to small business. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. How many of you do not know what all of these are? By a show of hand. You can be honest if you don't know. You know all of them? You know the purpose? Perfect. That's what I like to hear. All right, so we're educated. I like it. Awesome. So starting with Facebook. There's a lot of information on here. I know that you can all read, so I'll let you read it. I'm going to give you the background of how Facebook works for small business. Facebook is, for all intents and purposes, your 21st century website. All right? If you are running an organic strategy, organic means not paying Facebook to show your content to people. You are essentially using it as a secondary website that you can update information regularly and keep your customers informed. Nowadays, when someone's trying to make a decision of where to get my HVAC done, what gyms are in my area, they're going to go to 2 things, Google and Facebook. The first option that'll probably show up on Google, if the business does not have one of the other social platforms we talk about, is going to be a Facebook listing for those businesses in the area. Facebook has a lot of features and is very overwhelming to most. And the reason being is because we don't have purpose for why we're on it. When you start with purpose for your social media, then you identify ways to use these platforms to grow your business. Facebook is great for B2C, not so much for B2B. While some B2B relationships are great on it, it's very, very much direct to consumer. We'll talk about the number one platform. Everyone knows the number one platform for B2B, But when it comes to Facebook, you're really using it as a web site that you can update regularly with content. Some of the top industries, as you can see, that utilize this platform and are very successful are fashion, auto, e-commerce, retail, any of those brands or industries that you're regularly updating consumers on what you have going on, what you're selling, or what they can take advantage of from your business. Over here, when we look at purpose, these are the top reasons your business should be on Facebook. To build community, Facebook groups are a great way to build community around a topic, not around your business. No one, I promise you, no one will love your business as much as you do. That's a serious thing. So you want to build community around topics, so that's a great place to do it. Grow brand awareness. It's a great place to get in front of customers you've never talked to, may have no idea that you even exist. It's a great place to capture leads. All right, you can drive conversion from Facebook very easily, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in organic strategies. Book appointments, sell products using Facebook Marketplace, or share news and events. If you are trying to utilize Facebook in any other way, it is not going to work for your business, and it is a waste of your time and money. All right, that's just being pretty honest. We want you to really look at purpose first, and then identify whether that platform's right for you. Now, everyone should be on Facebook, every business should be on Facebook, whether it's a B2C or B2B, because of the searchability. But the type of content you share, the type of information you put out, and the type of energy you put in is going to fall into one of those purpose categories. Down here, you'll see as we go through, all of these little boxes are going to give you posting tips. So if you're using the platforms, these are best times to post, how often to post, when people are going to most engage with content, and this is all based on statistics and real data achieved through platforms that we utilize to market our brands on social. The one thing I will put out is when it says post frequency, Facebook's algorithm loves no one. It is not a friend to anyone, especially to businesses. It is not meant to help businesses in any way because they want you to spend money. So in order to hack an algorithm, you need to utilize content that is easily engaged with, meaning people want to like it, they want to share it, not you, others want to share it, they want to click through to it, or they want to comment on it. That is what's going to tell the algorithm that this content that you put out is more important than other content, and they should show it to more people. So a lot of people come to us and they say, listen, I have 3,000 likes on Facebook, and it's only like 10 to 15 people will see it. It's a direct result of your content, post frequency. If you do not have a lot of high quality content, don't post 1 to 2 times a day. Don't do it. Post 3 to 4 times a week, maybe. Content has to be driven by quality, not quantity. The more you post, the more often you post, the less time people actually have to engage with your content, which means the less it'll reach your actual targeted audience. So if I post 6 posts in a day, someone may see 1 post and they may like it. Someone else might see your other post, they may like it. Someone else might see the next post, they may like it. So now you have all these posts with only 1 like. But if you only posted once, you'd have 1 post with multiple likes. And that's where you're going to start to drive engagement, which increases your reach. So it's really important when we talk post frequency that you really think about the type of the quality of the content you're putting out, and not just so much like, okay, I have to post something immediately right now, like, because I have to hit that 1 to 2 times. I don't agree with the 1 to 2 times for Facebook. That's why it has this nice little asterisk. I don't agree with that, but we'll leave it there because science doesn't lie. Instagram, also owned by Facebook, for those that don't know that, which is why it's all very similar. We have a lot of people that come to us saying that they hate Facebook, they hate Zuckerberg, they're never going to be on that platform, so they want to focus on Instagram. Great, well, Facebook owns Instagram, so he still gets the money. Instagram, very visual platform. It is a visual first platform. The content you share should be all about the photo or video you take. If you are posting the same content on Instagram that you do on Facebook, you're likely not doing anything correct on this platform. Your images and your videos should drive your content on Instagram. So you may have something you want to say. We have an event coming up, we really want to promote this event. On Instagram, you want to take a photo of an event that was great, and then in the copy, talk about the next event. The copy is the information, the text that you write on the bottom, and the photo has to drive that. If you're putting graphics that are high text, one, you're less likely to get people to see your content because algorithm AI sees a lot of text and is like, this is not a photo that we want to share to anyone. So you really want your photo and video to be the most important thing. That's why it's up here under purpose. It is the most important purpose. If you are not a photo or video heavy business, do not go on Instagram. One, I promise no one will miss you there. You're not going to miss any potential customers. When it comes to social media marketing, it is not just put it on everything and someone will see it. It takes a lot of energy. People pay us a lot of money to do their social. So in order for it to work, it is very expensive or it takes a lot of your own time. So less is more. If you are not a photo or video company, don't do it, or if you don't have a lot of it. If you are a product or a B2B company, Instagram is a great way to showcase a personal touch. We are a B2B company. We use Instagram to show our company values, to show what we're doing, to keep people informed on who we are, that we're fun, to grow staff culture. This is what it's like to work for our brand. This is what you can expect and how we get along. We use it to actually build personal relationships with the brands that follow us versus trying to sell our services to people. So you could find yourself under that. Some types of purpose is showing that behind the scenes stuff. So we'll put up stories, we'll put up things that actually showcase who we are. There's probably stuff on our stories right now about this presentation today. It keeps people up to date and informed on what we're doing. It's a great place to grow brand awareness through hashtag use. Hashtags are the pound sign. You utilize them, that just increases search results. So if you hashtag something, someone can click on a hashtag and see all of the content that's ever been used and hashtagged with that. So it's a great way to grow brand awareness. If you are a local business in a local market, it's a great way to utilize hashtags and utilize location tags to really get in front of those people who may want to see your content, may want to buy from you, may want to buy your products. Instagram, you can sell products on Instagram. It is a great way to show lifestyle imagery of your products. So say you're a jeweler and you want to sell jewelry on Instagram, it's a great way to show your jewelry on people in a nice stylized setting. Highly visual products and services, specifically. The key to Instagram is understanding that people want to see what you're showing. They don't want to hear what you're showing. So it's not about writing anything. They don't want to read. It was literally created to combat Facebook, which was a text-heavy platform. So everybody wants to see it. They want to see your videos. There's a lot of different things on there, a lot of different features. I say if you're on it, start out with just posting regularly. With Instagram, you do want to post 1 to 2 times a day. You're going to see that the best times to post are either midday when people are on lunch and they're scrolling through their feed, or at the end of the day when they're scrolling through their feed after dinner, before they go to bed, just trying to see what's going on. That's when you're going to see most engagement. Like Facebook, the algorithm sucks on Instagram. Just be real with you. Stories, reels, talk about what that means in content, are the posts that expire after 24 hours. Those are what people are going to see most often. So when you're coming up with a content strategy, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, you're going to want anything that's relatively or timely to go onto a story. And then you want anything that can live on your feed to stay on your feed posts. Because people will go to your profile, they'll look through, they'll see if your content is the same, similar, if you have an aesthetic. So your colors look the same, your images are all the same, and then they'll follow you because they know what to expect. They won't follow a page or a profile that has all different things. It's all over the place. Sometimes it's a text post, sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's an image, sometimes it's of a dog. and you're selling products so no one understands why there's a dog and then it's the rest of your products. It has to be consistent types of content in order for them to follow. We'll just move on so that I don't miss anything. Twitter, the bane of everyone's existence. Twitter is great for people who have a lot of opinions. All right, we all know who. It is a great platform if you have an opinion and you want to say something about every single thing that happens that's on trend. It is not a platform where you don't necessarily speak about things that are actually happening at that moment. It is something that you have to put a lot of time in it. So if you can see, post frequency is at least 3 times a day on Twitter, because Twitter, the lifespan of a tweet is about 10 seconds. So you want to regularly be on it. This is a good platform for B2C. It's also good for B2B. It's a great way to get in front of people to be able to share things. But the point of Twitter is not to directly talk at people. It's to get people talking with you. So you're micro blogging, you're writing, say there's something going on. Yesterday we went to space and you wanted to say something funny like, wow, how phallic that, rocket ship looked. Great, you tweet it because you want other people to retweet. They want to come back to you. You want to massively expose your brand, and you want to hop on trending topics as they're trending. If you've ever gone to Twitter on a computer screen, you'll actually see on the right-hand side, it tells you all of the trending topics right now because it wants you to discuss those trending topics. That is the point of Twitter. Tweeting, all day long. This is just a guide, morning, afternoon, night. You can tweet it doesn't matter. Promoting your tweets is great. One really good purpose for Twitter, if you are in a role where customer service is kind of something that you regularly need, is to utilize the platform as your customer service engine. It's a great way for people who have common issues. So let's say something like Amazon, for example, uses Twitter Amazon Help. You can tweet at Amazon and say, hey, my package never showed up. I don't understand what's going on. And they will tweet back to you. And that's how they start the conversation around where your products are or your packages. Another is like a tech company. So most people know GoDaddy. GoDaddy Help is actually on Twitter. So you tweet to them and say, hey, I'm having an issue with my website, keeps going up, it keeps coming down. I don't know what's going on. And say there's a service outage. They'll utilize that to identify a service outage, and then they'll post out, hey, our service is down, we're working on it immediately. So people know if there's an issue, the first place they go is Twitter to see if there's a service outage, if they know of something going on. So that's one of the biggest purposes that I would say for small business is if you want to keep people informed or you want them to ask questions that you're regularly going to be able to answer, that's how you would utilize Twitter. Or if you're super on trend and you're very opinionated, go for it. I don't necessarily think that's good for an overall PR of a brand, but it works for some, it doesn't work for others. So like I said, customer service, opinion-based content, real-time and trendy content is great. One thing I'd really like to point out is if you haven't noticed, I'm not reading through all of these, but the target audience, if this is not your target audience, again, don't waste your time on Twitter. Yeah, you might have people that are older on Twitter, that's completely fine, but a majority of users are gonna fall within that. Active users, people who are actively on it all day long. So if they don't, again, time is money. LinkedIn, now we're getting everyone's favorite. It is probably my least favorite platform. Oh, I hate it. I just don't like talking about myself, I really don't. But if you do, this is for you. And that is exactly what LinkedIn was designed for. It is a professional social media platform. It was designed to give individuals who are in high-paying executive jobs a way to talk about their successes and boost up their professional presence on a platform other than a personal social media platform. It's evolved from that, but it still has that element. If you're on LinkedIn, what are all of the posts that you're usually seeing? This person interviewed this person who didn't have shoes and walked 6 miles with a baby in hand, and they hired them, and now they're an 8-figure salesperson. That's the type of content you see. It's regularly shared. It's easily engaged with because there's going to be a lot of people on there like, why are we still seeing these? It's great. But For B2B businesses, this is probably the only channel where you will drum up actual clients in a way that will benefit you. The important thing is, on LinkedIn, you'll have your personal profile. That's you. Great. That's you talking about you talking about your successes, you sharing. You should also have a business or company profile. Your company profile is focused on you. It's going to get indexed as a business in your area. It's going to share information about your business, how many staff you have, where your headquarters are. It also allows people to easily search things. If you went to LinkedIn today and you started typing in Tipsy, I can almost guarantee you social will pop up after it, and then you'll be able to click on it and see our company profile. The important thing to note is the purpose for this platform is really focused on talking all about yourself or your business. In a not so, if you really want it to work, in a not so, it's all about me, I'm amazing, everyone should spend their money on me because that's exactly why I'm here. You do it in a way that's like, wow, I've been doing this for 26 years and today really was impactful. I met with blah, blah, and we really got to talking and realized that we shared this and this in common, and I can't wait to work with them moving forward. That is an authentic type of post. You're giving some backstory, but you're also kind of boosting yourself up like, hey, look, I got a new client. This is awesome. When it comes to your company profile, you're sharing company news. New positions, any sort of PR, something that you would write a press release for should also be shared on your company profile. So if you're doing a cleanup day, or if you did a staff development day, all of that type of content should go on there because people who are looking for jobs are going to your LinkedIn profile first to identify what's going on in your business. Do they do things with their staff? What is staff culture like? We all know what the field looks like with hiring right now. Got a lot of open jobs and a lot of candidates for it. Candidates are essentially interviewing you at this point. Your LinkedIn presence is the initial interview. It's not your website. It's not your other social platforms. It's your LinkedIn presence because that's what they'll look at. The other cool thing is that they'll follow you. They want to see your updates. They want to celebrate you. They want to get excited. Your staff goes on it. When your staff interacts and they engage, it'll increase the reach of your content. LinkedIn hashtags are great as long as you don't do 612 of them because it'll really spread your content out based on topics. But really, if you're on LinkedIn, your company profile is a static piece, but your personal profile is what will sell you. So if you're a salesperson and you're selling something, an account executive, any of those types of things, your personal profile is going to be what actually makes those connections. Your business profile is going to be what gets inbound connections. So if you're an outbound position, you really want your personal profile to do it. And that's kind of the benefit to LinkedIn is pretty much all of your staff are going to have a professional forward-facing profile that says that they work for you. So it's okay for them to utilize that platform versus on Facebook that somebody spells their name funny and has a picture of their daughter as their profile photo, and then them reaching out to people is a little bit awkward in a B2B sense. So LinkedIn's that way. Posting, mornings. Afternoon, yeah, mornings. First thing in the morning is when everyone logs into their computer, they're gonna open up their LinkedIn, see if they have any connections, any messages. That's when you wanna be posting content because that's when people are going to engage with it. So first thing in the morning, get on there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you post on the weekend, no one will see it because I promise you the last thing people are thinking about is their professional profile on LinkedIn and if people are trying to connect with them. The one tip I will tell you is to make sure that you have message notifications on. I know that seems like, of course, I would have them on. I had mine turned off and almost missed a very large business opportunity because of it. So that's just a me giving you some value. Turn them on, check it once in a while. If you don't love the platform, just go on it once in a while, see what's going on, post, engage with other people's content. So that way when you do post, people want to engage with yours. I promise you people are looking to see who engages with their content, and then they'll engage with yours. If you don't, they won't, because people are catty. Doesn't matter how old they get. That's just the way it is. You didn't like my profile. I watched my husband scroll by one of our Instagram posts the other day, looked at it, scrolled, didn't like it. Can you imagine that? Pinterest. Pinterest, man, this has been around forever. It is arguably the third largest search platform in the world. Pinterest is used to search everything, and that is exactly how it is used and the purpose of it for a brand. You can sell products on it, you can share how-tos, but essentially if you are a business that writes blog content on how to do this, how to do that, or you have a highly visual thing, so think of those things like interior design, products, any of those elements, Pinterest is great for you to share it because people will pin your content to boards. They'll click through your content. If you have an image, say you are selling a necklace and you share it and someone's searching for beaded jewelry and you come up and they pin it and they click through, now they're on your website. It is a great way to put content in front of people that would not naturally or organically see it. But it is a beast of a platform. You have to highly engage with it. Your content has to be high quality. The text has to be easily searchable. I tell people that this is really a platform for makers. If you are running an Etsy shop or something of that nature, this is a great platform for it. If you are a builder and you actually want to show people how to build things, that's a great platform for it. It is not at all meant for B2B. So if you're in B2B, don't even think about it. Really, if you look at these top industries, you'll understand why. Highly visual, regular content, always updating, always pretty. That's kind of why that platform exists. The good thing about it is if you do sell products, people are going to buy them. This is a great place to sell your products. We had an e-commerce retail client, and a majority of all of her sales came from Pinterest. No other platform. So it's a great way to get in front of other people, but as you can see, you're posting 5 times a day. It's a beast. If you don't have the time, the energy, and you don't want to do it, please stay away from Pinterest. It is one of those top 5 platforms, though, so we like to talk about it. It's great. Is anybody here on Pinterest utilizing it as part of their strategy? On it, but not use it? Okay, exactly. Platforms to be aware of. There are billions and billions of platforms out there. They pop up every day. These are some of the ones that either you probably heard of them or you haven't, and their purpose. The biggest one to talk, well, biggest 2 right now, depending on industry, is TikTok and Clubhouse. TikTok, short videos, reels. It is really meant as a platform where people attach themselves to music or current trends and then share it. That is what it's meant for. I don't really recommend it for small business at this point, just because of the amount of time and energy that has to get put into it for it to actually work. TikTok is great, but you need to have someone dedicated to hopping on the newest dance trend and tying it back to your business within 24 hours, or it's kind of pointless to even do it. So it's a highly visible platform that's up and coming, but it's very hard to deal with. Clubhouse, audio only, fantastic. It's new. I won't lie to you, I'm not sure if it's still invite only, but for the longest time it was invite only. I think at this point, if you do get an invite, you end up being able to invite 10 to 15 people. Before it was 1 or 2. Essentially, it's a bunch of rooms where you go into a room and you can listen to a panel of speakers talk about a specific topic. They can call you up, you can talk on the topic. People love this when they're building their own influence. So people like Mark Zuckerberg will go on it and sit on a table, a panel discussion about something. You get to listen to it live, and you can be brought up and speak on the stage. We have a really good colleague who got on it really early and is now heavily driving all of her business through Clubhouse. It's a great platform if you're in the marketing, advertising, PR industry. It's also great for B2B sales, as long as you're okay talking about your product in a way that's not just talking about your product. You drive people secondary. It's the content that you're putting out. YouTube, we all know it. It's the #1 video platform owned by Google. It is the #2 search engine in the world. People watch videos, they want to. Video is great. I highly suggest adding it to a content strategy or as part of your content if you can regularly create value-leading videos, because it is the #2 search engine. When people search for things, they get paid results, video results, and then organic results. So you really want to utilize this if you can create video content on the regular, or repurpose content, such as today, we're recording this seminar. It'll probably end up on our YouTube. just so that people can watch it in the future. It's always living there and people can find it, which can turn into leads. Google My Business, everybody should be on there. If you haven't had it set up, the reason why we call this a social platform is because of the social aspect of it now. You can regularly post updates, products, and offers to your Google My Business. So it is not meant to be a static product anymore. It's not meant to just to put your hours, what you do, and how people connect with you or where they can find you. Now they really want you to drive content on it, which is gonna help with organic search engine performance. Google My Business, exactly, you really wanna be utilizing it, keeping your content up to date. Reddit is a great way for people to share opinions on certain topics and for everyone to attach to those opinions. A lot of brands use it for help or to identify trends in a market and where to direct their R&D. So if I am a product and a consumer brand and I go online and I go on Reddit and search my product, if there's a thread, I can utilize the information in that thread to drive future research and development. I can also utilize it to understand what people are thinking of my brand and brand reputation. Tumblr, it's kind of on its way out. Essentially the same exact thing. You have a board where you can put video, links, text, and everything, and people can follow your specific board to see the information you put up. Snapchat, leave it for the children. Just leave it for the children. You can take photos, you can send them to people, they disappear after a while. Nowadays, you can leave them longer. Just leave it for the children, man. There's so many other platforms at this point. Leave it for the children. Medium, we added. Medium's not necessarily a social media platform. It is a way for people to share blog content, articles, to write professional articles and link back to them, but it does have a social component. So people vote on those articles. If it's helpful, they give it a thumbs up. If it's not helpful, they give it a thumbs down. The more thumbs up that it gets, the more people that will see it organically. It's also a great way to build your brand reputation. So if you are a thought leader on a specific topic, you can contribute to Medium for free. It will go in front of all of its members. People can follow your content. They can follow you, so they get notified when you put out new blog articles. It is a really, really good platform if you write a lot of thoughtful content and want to share it and want people to engage with it. If you don't have a blog on your website, it's also a great way to utilize that without having to start a blog on your website, get it in front of more people, and use that to share content. There's a million more, but we won't talk about them. Content. Content is anything that you share. Content, these are the major content types. So you have your photos that you take. You have your videos, short and long. So you may do a reel, which is 30 to 60 seconds. I think it's up to 3 minutes now. You may have a reel, or you may have a long form video like this. That's a piece of content. Text-based content, short. We're open from 8 to 6 today, come and grab something. And long form, that's more of blog article type content. You're providing value first. You have your graphics, those are your flyers, your memes, your infographics. Audio, your podcasts, your drop-ins like Clubhouse, and then your links. Those are shared links to web pages, shared links to articles like Medium articles. Those are your major ones. Every platform in some way will allow you to utilize one or more of these. Social specific content, this is kind of types of content. So evergreen, you'll hear it a lot of times. That just is something that can regularly be posted over and over again and will always be relevant. So maybe it's your hours of operation. That could be evergreen content. You could regularly post that and it would still be relevant to people. Maybe it's your opinion on how chocolate should be made. I guess it could change, but it probably won't. That's evergreen content that you can share. Maybe it's a product line or a service offering that you have, and all you're doing is describing the service offering in the content. Evergreen, it'll happen over and over again. You want to have a lot of this if you're doing social yourself, because you'll always have something to pull and put out if you need it. So you want as much evergreen content created beforehand to utilize it. Shared content, this is other people's stuff that you're just easily using as your own. Let me change the way I said that. You're sharing other people's stuff from their profiles and then attaching your opinion or take on it. So shared content can be a retweet on Twitter, where you're quoting it and saying, can't wait for this, super excited. It can be your take on an article that somebody wrote on Facebook. You're sharing it and adding your take on the article, whether you agree or disagree. So you're sharing it directly from them. You are not screenshotting it and then sharing it. Live content is if you're going live. Almost all platforms allow you to go live now. So in real time, you can be talking to your audience. You can be showing them things. Stories and Reels. Those are those short videos. Reels are on Instagram and I guess TikToks we can call Reels. They're shorter videos. They have a topic or a trend. You're putting it out there. It's going. Stories are going to be those things that last for about 24 hours on Instagram. They're great for relevant, timely content. This is probably the most important thing for a small business, and that's user-generated content. Isn't it great when your customers do the work for you? If you own a business and you can at any point make it so that people are gonna wanna take pictures of whatever you do, when you do it, how you do it, and tag you in it, do it. Restaurants and bars do this all the time. There's a reason they plate their food to make it look nice. There's a reason new restaurants and bars, when they open, are extremely beautiful inside. It's not because they wanted to spend an absorbent amount of money on redoing a place. It's because they know it's gonna drive people to take photos. And when people take photos and videos and tag you in their content, one, you're getting in front of their audience. You may never have been able to do that before. Two, you can ask them for permission to reshare their content on your page, also giving them credit. And you're filling your content feed with high quality imagery that people want to do it. It also reinforces people taking photos or videos of your content in the future because they want to be featured on your social media. The bigger your following, the more they'll want to do it. We have a client in Beacon. We just won an award for their user-generated content strategy. It is probably the best way to get content out there regularly and keep you on frame of mind. So by having your customers love your product so much that they take photos with it, of it, and want to do things with it. Yeah. So content. There are some things that I do want to really point out for content. It's probably one of the biggest things that we tell people. One, just because it's on the internet does not mean you can use it. It is illegal to use Google Images for business purposes. So if you take a photo and download it and then re-upload, there's a little thing under that photo that says may be subject to copyright. If you take that, put it up, that person can sue you for using that, and any money that they think you made is what they sue you for. There was a cannabis company in Massachusetts that decided to use a photo recently that they, I guess, thought they could use on a billboard and are now being sued for $9 million. It is illegal. If someone takes a photo, if you take a photo today with your phone of me in this setting, and then I go to you and I take it without your permission, you can sue me because you have copyright over any imagery that you utilize. In a personal component, it's a lot harder. The laws are a little weird because you're not making money off it. But when it comes to a business component, everything that you put out is essentially working to make you money, and that's when you'll be sued. So please, don't steal images off of Google. Don't do that. We'll show you some tools to make your own imagery, to make your own graphics. But when you take them off of those platforms, you are really opening yourself up. And people love to sue, especially if they think that you're a big company that can make money. And it's an easy lawsuit to win because all they have to prove is that you didn't take the photo and that they did because you didn't ask permission to use it. Stock photos are expensive, but there are some places that we will tell you where you can get them for free, and we'll talk about that afterwards. The other thing, and one of the biggest things when it comes to content and people feeling like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? If you took a photo right now, don't post it. Don't post it. Content is about curating a long stream of information, of photos, of videos that you can utilize over time. The photo that you take right now, you may be like, oh, I really got to post this. Don't. The only thing that should ever be posted in real time are stories. Everything else should be planned out, thought through, because you're really thinking about it. There's a whole thing, left brain, right brain. If you're thinking, analytically, like, oh, I have to do this, you can't really think creatively, so you're just grabbing whatever you want, and vice versa. So you really want to think of what you're doing first, and then find the information that works for it. The way that we use content is we will go in and we do content shoots. So we'll go into a client's location, we'll spend 6 hours there, we'll take tons of photos, videos of all different things, we bring props. So we may even go with a little Christmas tree, a football, all of this, And just because we know that football season is going to come up at some point, Christmas is around the corner at some point, so that we have content ready for those, so that we're not posting that day. That's the overwhelming feel that some people get, like, oh, I have to post something, let me take this photo. Don't. You want to plan it out. When we talk about tools, there are tools to help you do that as well. Organic strategies. Again, when we talk about organic, that's not paid. It's earned. These are the 3 biggest ones that most businesses want. They either want to grow brand awareness, so get in front of people that wouldn't necessarily know they exist. Increase brand value, so that's really about the quality of your business and why people should do business with you. Or to capture leads or drive conversion to a website, form, photo. Some great ways to do that, if we're growing brand awareness, is to run contests and giveaways. Contests, you can have people do whatever they want in order to get in front of you. So a lot of contests on social will be like this, share this, and tag one friend. Now the friend is tagged, so they're gonna see your information. You're sharing it, so it's gonna get in front of their feed or audience. And they're liking the post, so your post is getting engagement. Now I will say, again, the algorithm's not stupid. It does know when you're running a contest, so don't think I'm gonna run a contest every day and hack that algorithm. Nope, it knows. It knows. But it's a great way to organically get in front of other people. You can collaborate with other brands to build legitimacy with their audiences. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a brand that fits within it. It can be completely weird, completely like this has nothing to do with me. You're collaborating with those brands to boost your reputation, get in front of another audience. So it does help if their audience is somewhat similar. But say I'm in construction and I know that I want to get in front of more residential clients, I may partner with, I don't know, a blinds company. No, it doesn't really have to do with the construction aspect, but blinds, who needs blinds? People that live in houses. Who lives in houses? People that I need as customers. So partnering up, it can be a contest. Sometimes it's just better to tag them and then they'll organically share your content, get you in front of more people. Working with influencers. Influencers cost money across the board. You may find a free influencer, but no influencer is ever free. They're gonna want a product, a service, or something, and they deserve it. If they've worked to build an audience of people that you wanna get in front of, you need to pay to get in front of them. They are the gatekeepers to your audience, and most of them, if they're high quality influencers, do a very, very good job of getting their audience to wanna buy your product. If you are working with influencers, I highly recommend not just going and connecting with them, is working with an agency to find your influencers, because they're gonna handle contracts, they're gonna handle making sure that they hit their deliverables, and they're gonna handle what they actually have to do. So in order to get paid, or in order to get this product, you need to write 3 reviews, 2 stories, and share this, and then they don't get paid until they do that. You'll never do it. I promise, small businesses never follow through with their influencers, so they give them money and they're like, well, it never worked. Worked with an influencer, it never worked. And the agency's also gonna vet that influencer. Just because they have 60,000 followers does not mean they have 60,000 followers. Anybody can pay for followers. Don't do it, it's the worst thing. Follower does not mean money. They'll pay for followers, and if you get trapped into one of those situations, you're essentially paying someone to show it to a bunch of fake accounts that were made, and no one will see it and no one will buy your products. And then another thing is ask for referrals and reviews. That's great. I love when people review products or services on their actual social media instead of just writing it, because you get to utilize that instead of just taking a picture of a Google review and uploading it. And then developing a user-generated content strategy. Like we discussed, we actually put it into our content strategy, so we know that we want to promote more people taking photos of their food or dishes for clients that are in food and beverage, so we'll actually create ways for them to do that in order to utilize it. Increasing brand value. Consistency is pretty much one of the biggest ones. People want to know when your content's coming out. They're going to want to know when they see it, and they get excited for it. People who follow brands get excited to see the content they put out. That's why they followed it. So you want to make sure you're coming up with a consistent strategy. You're not posting something, waiting 6 months, posting something else, waiting 6 months, because you're not going to build brand value that way. It's just going to showcase that you don't see that platform as something that is important to you. And then that translates into, well, what else don't you find important? So you want to make sure that everything is consistent. Huge. Responding to likes, comments, and questions. Engagement is big. If you are using social media for your business, you don't get to just set it and forget it. You have to dedicate time to interacting with your audience, interacting with other profiles, responding to comments and messages, even if it's a like on a comment, even if it's a smiley face. You want to do that because that's going to build your brand value and show that you actually care about your customers versus just putting information out there and hoping that they'll saturate and suck it up. Engaging with other profiles, that's a big one, especially as small businesses. You want to follow other small businesses. You want to like their stuff. You want to comment on it. You want to celebrate them because then they're going to want to do the same for you. Resharing content from others. Resharing content is huge. Most people don't like to do it because they're like, well, then I'm not the expert in it. You're not. Rip that Band-Aid off. You may be very, very good at it. You may know exactly how to do it. But everybody can do the things that we do, for the most part. So sharing other people's content doesn't do that. It just shows that you're humble and that other people may know a little bit more than you in certain topic areas, and that you're okay with understanding that. It's vulnerability and it increases brand value, but it also showcases that you care enough to show something to your audience that they will benefit from, but you may not directly benefit from. High quality content. I can't stress quality, man. More. Really, that's why I say don't take a photo and immediately put it, because you may look at it later and go, wow, that is a horrible photo, but in the moment you were like, this is great. You want your content to be quality. You want people to love what you're posting. You want people to look at it with pride because you want to look at it with pride. So making sure that you're utilizing that. Work with someone to develop your content strategy. Work with someone to capture your content, and then you can fill in the blanks with iPhone photos and things like that that may not be the best, but are still good if they're in conjunction with more higher quality content. And introduce content that focuses on what you're doing and not what you do. Everybody loves to talk about what they do. This is what I do. We sell this. You need this. This is your problem. This is how we solve your problem. That's great, but it's not really talking about what you're doing. Are you going places? Are you at a seminar to learn how to use social media? Are you, hanging out with your donors? There's so many other things that you do as a business that people want to attach to that's going to increase your brand value that has nothing to do with what you actually do. And that's what you want to showcase as well. Capturing leads and conversions. This one is mostly about optimizing your platforms. Platforms change daily. I know that's like the scary part. We get an email every morning that kind of tells us what happened in the last 24 hours on platforms, what features got taken away, what features are back, how this feature changed and how this algorithm changed. So you always want to make sure that you're spending time optimizing your profile, especially for clicks. What does your link look like? You will be surprised how many people are like, oh yeah, I have a Facebook, and you go to it and the link in their bio that's supposed to send people to their website does not go anywhere. It is a dead link. So great, people find you on Facebook, but they have no idea what you do or how to get in touch with you or how to work with you. Optimizing your platforms for clicks is valuable. Adding call to actions for your content. So that's asking the question at the end or saying if you want to learn more, click here. If you want to book an appointment, click here. So adding links or calls to action, link in bio, click the link in our bio. That's all telling people, if you love this so much, do something with it. Sharing links from your website. If you're talking about something specific that you do and you know that there's something of value on your website that touches on that, share the link to it. If you're talking about social media, I'm going to share the link for social media because I want people to see this is what social media marketing is, this is what it looks like. Using teaser text, that's kind of that. You start showing people what it is, that's that ... and then you have a nice little link to the full article. The reason why is you don't want your social media to stop. Your social media drives people somewhere. You want to drive them to where that full article is, where that information is on your website, or how they can take next step. Integrating easy to navigate links into your bios. We'll talk about that under tools. Specifically, if you're using Instagram, you're not going to go in and change your link every time you want to talk about something, so doing something like link in bio. Running paid advertisements. We're really focused on organic, but really, if you're trying to do this and you're trying to use Facebook or Instagram, you're running paid ads. Your organic strategy is not going to bring you as much money as you want immediately. If you're looking for an immediate return, you have to pay for that. And focus on giving value first. This is the one that is lost the most. People follow you because they're hoping to get something out of that relationship. So you have to provide value before you extract value. So if I'm sharing an article that's a how to do something, I'm sharing an article that's a how to do something so that people come back and they want to click on more of my content. Instead of sharing something that's like how to do something, they go to it and it starts to tell them that, and then it's like, oh, click here and enter your information because I want to capture that lead and get that information. That's great. But if I just gave them that full article, they would get all of the information and they'd be more likely to want to work with me. Again, everybody can do what we do. There's going to be someone else that is actually giving them the information. Google is a monster. So if you're not providing it and gating it, they'll get it somewhere else, and you want them to get it from you. Tools, the best part. Prepare yourself. Pens. When we're talking images and videos, Adobe Stock you're paying for. That's why I didn't put a link, because I know who wants to pay for stock imagery. The other three, Unsplash, Pixabay, and Pexels, is royalty-free content, meaning that you can use it in paid ads, you can use it in promotions, you could use it for anything you want. Unsplash is actual content that is uploaded by photographers, brands, so it's going to be more stylized and realistic imagery. You know, if you're looking for a photo of someone in a conference room, you would go to it, you would type in conference room, and it'll give you all these photos that have been tagged with conference room that are of actual people in a conference room. They're all very high quality. It's actually a good marketing strategy. I won't tell you about that. That'll be a later date. But you'll be able to find really good high quality imagery that's real, not staged for the most part, on Unsplash. Pixabay and Pexels, you can find both videos and pictures, but you also can find graphics and vector files, meaning that you can overlay them. They don't have a background onto anything that you want. So it's a great way if you're creating a PowerPoint presentation or you're creating a flyer, you can go to those and you can find that information. When it comes to graphic design, there's a lot, but these are probably going to be your two biggest. This one is pretty much just like a free graphic design software, so if you don't know how to use a graphic design software, don't even bother. Use Canva. Canva has a free option. I would highly recommend you pay for the annual thing. I think it's $140 for a year. But it allows you to use all of their premium content. It has Unsplash actually integrated into it. So if you're creating an Instagram graphic, if you're creating a Facebook graphic, a header image, pretty much anything, flyers, business cards, it does everything for you. You can just type in what you're looking for and it'll have all things that you can utilize for free or as part of your paid premium membership. Highly, highly recommend Canva for small business. If you don't have a graphic designer on staff or you're not working with an agency, utilize it. Social media management. This is where agencies make all their money. It's the only way that we can work with hundreds of clients at the same time. There are built-in ones. So Facebook has Creator Studio, which allows you to create posts and schedule them for the future. I don't necessarily love it, but it's a great free option. The rest of them have free options, but really they're paid. The free ones you're not going to get anything out of. Hootsuite is great for lots of platforms. So you can manage your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, everything through that. And not only can you schedule content, but all your messages will come into a nice little inbox so you can respond to them across platform. You can interact with other profiles. It really allows you to create an entire social media strategy and execute it without spending a ton of time doing it every day. If you are a visual user or Instagram is your driving platform, Later is the platform you want to use. You can do Facebook and Twitter, but it was designed for Instagram. It will allow you to schedule your Instagram posts, see what it's going to look like in your feed and on your profile. It'll allow you to actually extract those user-generated content. So if you have a dedicated hashtag or someone tags you, you can actually find it builds a library of all of those for public profiles. And you can actually add it to your library, and it automatically will add a little photo icon with the person who took the photo, so you can tag them, and then you can integrate it and put it throughout your calendar. It also has a really cool link in bio feature that will update as posts update. Loomly and HubSpot. HubSpot's obviously way bigger. It's a CRM marketing automation, but it has a social component to it. And Loomly is, again, just like Hootsuite, great platform for managing your marketing. 2 must-haves. Absolutely have to have it. Grammarly.com. This is a link, a plugin for your internet browser. So anything you ever type in your internet browser, it is going to tell you if you spelled it wrong, if you could fix the grammar and make it more appropriate. It is vital because people hate when a business puts out content. I'm one of them, where there's typos and things because it just looks like you rushed it and you didn't proofread it and do anything. So that will help you. It'll tell you you're spelling this wrong. And then Linktree. Linktree has a free option. You can totally use it. Essentially, you build out one specific link that you can put everywhere. You can put it in your Instagram bio. You can put it in your LinkedIn bio. And then in that profile, you'll log into the platform. You can have a bunch of different links. So you can link to seminars, web pages, contact me, and you can put as many as you want. And then every time somebody clicks on that one link, wherever they click it, it gives them all the options of things to click. So it's a great way if you constantly send people to your blog, but you also want people to know your website page, or you want people to go directly to your scheduling link, all of those things, you can create it separately so they can see it. There's a free and a paid version. The free version is great. The paid one will allow you to brand your own profile and add some other things. You can sell on Linktree. You can integrate with other things as well. I think this is the last thing we're going to talk about, and we'll go through it quickly, is setting SMART goals. In marketing, if you're in it, if you ever took any class, it's about setting a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Anytime you're trying to identify whether something is working, you should start with a SMART goal. So we have two scenarios. Scenario one is I normally get 10 to 15 new organic likes per month. My SMART goal is I'd like to gain 500 new organic followers on Instagram in the next 30 days. Second scenario is my Facebook post usually reaches about 30 people each. My SMART goal is I'd like to increase post reach by 30% on Facebook over the next 3 months. Which one is a SMART goal? 2, right, you could say it. 2, 1 is not. And the main reason is, and the reason I point this out, is because it's not realistic. The biggest problem that small businesses have when it comes to using social media is that they are unrealistic with their expectations. You have to go in with realistic goals. If you only get 10 to 15 new likes a month, how are you going to get 500? Organically, so you're not paying anyone for them. It's impossible. So you want your goals to be realistic and you want them to be measurable. So I will know at the end of 3 months if on Facebook I gained 30% post reach when I measure that. And the reason why I want to do that is because that's going to tell me if what I did to try and achieve that goal worked or not. You want to do that because if you don't know if it's working or not, you're wasting time. And again, time is money. You don't want to do that. And that's the end of our seminar for today.